Hey everybody, it's the Coach, and this is Monday Night Football on EA Sports. Up next, we've got a good one on tap between the visiting Arizona Cardinals and the Portland Lumberjacks. I'll be back at halftime to look at some of these stats and scores from Sunday's action. But for now, it's Monday Night Football. And to call the action, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. It's the National Football League presented by EA Sports. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Arizona Cardinals and the Portland Lumberjacks. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Portland team entering play. They've been as hot as anyone. The win last week makes it 9 out of 10.
The results are hard to argue. If there's a team better suited for the postseason right now, I don't know who they are.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Cardinals here, it's late in the year. We all know it. We've seen the calendar for these guys. Their bodies could probably use a break, but they have to push on.
And they're really not as worried about that as maybe we think. They know they've got the entire offseason to rest. All they care about is the game in front of them and finishing strong.
This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. A first down throw for Winston. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Chavez. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
On third down, Winston. Oh, he almost picked it. Nearly a turnover there on their opening drive. And that's a throw he'd like to have back. Now 4th down.
And third down is a key down in any game you play. And third down defense, something we've got to watch in this one. Got to be effective on the passing downs. That's a pretty good first step right there.
So dangerous with a football in his hands. Call that a return of 38. And out will come the offense as they take over.
Gone! Detroit!
Throwing on first down. Watts eluding the pressure right. And incomplete to open things up.
Defensively here, you're facing a top-5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
Detroit!
Back to the air on second down. Watts flushed out right. And boy, that one drops incomplete, but if he was hit a fraction sooner, it may have been a fumble.
Different pass rushes are designed for different things. Sometimes you want to keep the quarterback in the pocket. Sometimes you want him to flush. I don't know exactly how this one was designed, but they made sure they moved him to his right. He got out of the pocket. Unfortunately for him, he was hit as he tried to throw the ball, and that resulted in an incompletion.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Looking to throw. Watts into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 36, and they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line. He's on quite the interception run. He had 2 last week, another one here. Remember, he's not a DB, he's a linebacker.
But how many of those linebackers started as DBs and pumped themselves up into being linebackers? So the ball skills are the same, right? The coverage skills and responsibilities are the same, and he is paying it off in a big, big way.
The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. This defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking every time he touches the rock.
Right back to him on first down. Oh, now he bowls him over. Room to run inside the 40. Past the 20. Touchdown, Cardinals. A big play there. His ninth touchdown of the season, and the Cardinals have taken the early lead. No going for two. They'll kick the point after. Footing always a concern, but the extra point's up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. And as this offense makes their way back out, NFC playoff race time, we give you a look at what's going on there. And for them, it's no longer a question of will they make the playoffs. They've clinched the division title. The question, can they hold on to that #1 seed?
And this is where the mental fortitude comes to play, doesn't it? Because now you're not just the coach talking about it, his team talking about it to each other, supporting each other, carrying each other along, because having that #1 seed means everything in the NFL.
It does. So even though the division title's clinched, shouldn't take the foot off the gas.
No, not at all. Play it all the way through, and I think we've seen that in recent years in the NFL. The teams that play and play to win each and every game, they're the ones to deal with in the playoffs.
In on the stop, the former Georgia Bulldog, Roquan Smith.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Four down. Gone!
On third down, Watts buying time to his left. A good decision in the end to pull it and run, gets him 9 yards at a first.
That's something you have to be aware of as a defense and have to find a way to account for him. And if you're not going to use a spy, you're telling your guys to keep your eyes on him, because when he breaks out and makes plays like that, all he does is hurt you.
Have to at least be able to contain him somewhat. There they can make. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. The numbers for him from a week ago: 14 carries, 121 yards, and a touchdown.
And a rushing title's definitely within sight, so the excitement on the offensive side of the football, I mean, they're bouncing off the walls wanting to get out there, but they also understand that they're going to face some really stacked defenses down the stretch because they don't want it to happen at their expense.
And he'll snag about 5 yards down to the 32. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. And a gain there of 11 yards. They'll run it now out of the gun. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stop that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
6 yards there off the scramble, but it'll still leave him with a 3rd down.
Okay, he's not going to get the first down, but this is still a nice job of buying some time and then running to get to the sideline and get out of bounds and avoid the big hit.
The offense on third down tonight, they've been okay. 2 for 3 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 2. Back to throw. Watts. And almost picked off. I guess the good news for them now, it's 4th down.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing.
Interestingly, that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. On 4th down, Watts. He's going to run, but he's got a long way to go. They go for it on 4th down, but come up empty. And this 11-play drive is going to lead to nothing on the scoreboard. Well, you feel the excitement build on those 4th down plays. Defense has to stay out there, but for the offense, when that thing doesn't work out, such disappointment.
It can absolutely be a deflator, but how about the defensive guys? If they stop you on 4th down, they are absolutely elevated going to their bench.
They're elevated now. Big stop on 4th down.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll do a nice job here just to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. No gain that time, and it leaves him with 3rd and 11 coming up. Defense able to get there, swarm to the football. Zilch, 0 nada there for the offense, Charles.
Yeah, it really was an example of good team defense, wasn't it? Everyone handled their responsibility.
And he goes down. It's a sack. They get him back at his own 3-yard line.
You've called plenty of games in your career. Do you believe in momentum, my man?
I do, and I think we're seeing it right here.
There's no doubt about it. The run that he's been on, how about that? 3 sacks in a game a week ago, and another one right here. Oh, he's feeling it in a big way.
Now that looked for a second like he might take it all the way, but as it stands, it's still a massive return. And this offense set up with a very short field. 1st and 10 inside the 20. And here now the offense heading back out there. And on the last drive, they were in field goal range. They just opted not to kick it, didn't get it. How does that change the mentality this go around?
I don't think it changes much for the head coach because this is what he preaches all the time. Attack at all times in any spot on the field, and he likes touchdowns, not field goals. Now, your field goal kicker, you got to make sure you nurse him through and say, okay, don't worry about it. When we need you, you've got to be ready to go. And the team, of course, loves to see points on the board. So let's see if it changes a little bit if they're in the same spot again.
Well, we'll see what the decision is here if they get to that spot. Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Escaping the and he will take it in for the touchdown. As his guys are in for 6. And his guys are an extra point away from tying this thing up. So it goes for a rookie quarterback. He had the INT earlier in this first half, but he bounces back with a touchdown pass.
And you have to like the mental acumen, the toughness, the fortitude of him, because oftentimes for a rookie, you throw an interception early, you're taken right out of the game, or mentally you check out a little bit. Give him a lot of credit for bouncing back.
Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. So, Charles, the season winding down, the playoffs obviously not in their future. As they look ahead to the offseason, what spots do they maybe need to fill?
Well, I think that they like the guy who's calling the plays and throwing the ball. I think that he's a pretty good player. Needs some help, I think, on the perimeter, though. Help him out with receivers, because I think if he gets an upgrade there, his play gets that much better, too.
A gain of 6 there on 1st.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does.
Ready to go now in the second quarter. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis. It's the Cardinals in possession of the football. They've got a 3rd down and a yard to start things out. Play fake. Winston. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains.
We always talk about having to read defenses, and how complicated that is? Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with the football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And an alley to run. A swift move and then tackled just on the other side of midfield. He gets them a little over half of what they needed. Now they're looking at a 3rd and 5.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down. I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this 3rd down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they run successful.
Now this offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. The last possession, these guys were able to tie the game with a touchdown, and now they'll have a chance to move out in front.
Yeah, let's give a big assist to the defense who got the ball back. The special teams went out there and handled things. They've got it. They've got momentum. I know they're eager to get out there and put it on display.
And he'll slide down to avoid the tackle. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a 1st down. On 1st and 10, Watts flush to his right. Space to maneuver at the 40. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble.
That was an excellent job of recognizing the situation. His first read wasn't there. Heck, his second read wasn't there. But he bought himself a little extra time scrambling out of the pocket, got to the sticks, and picked up the 1st down.
And on the ground they go with the running back. And he'll get it across midfield and down into Cardinal territory. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down. For a lot of people, MVP award means a quarterback award usually, but over 100 yards again last week. They're going to have to look his way more than once when giving out this award this season, I think.
Yeah, it's not just the consistency. There's been some plays that we've seen where we talk about it for weeks thereafter. That's what we're getting out of him. Over 100 yards last week. Expects to continue that in this game, too.
Not enough there for a first. No gain, as a matter of fact. And it leaves them at 3rd and 1. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. And a nice carry there of 15 yards.
Well, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
On 1st down, Watts throwing the out route incomplete. It's Fowler, and he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues. Now a play fake here on 1st down. Rolling to his left. And it's caught. Touchdown. Marquez Valdez-Scantling. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And his guys are able to strike for 6. Now on this play, he just made a great route. The quarterback had to deliver it, sure, but a great route run there.
And, Brandon, this is what the best receivers do. They work on their route running because it's one thing to have athletic ability, but to really get open, you have to set up defensive backs with different routes and be precise in your cuts.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. And the ground game's been good, but they're losing here in the second quarter. Can they use that ground game maybe to work the air attack a little bit more?
I think so, because now you can throw play action off of being able to run the ball effectively. And oftentimes you might want to just swing your back out of the backfield, get the ball in his hands in open space, and just don't get totally away from running it, because some of these runs now, they may pop bigger as the game goes along.
Yeah, they've been good with the run so far. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2. The Cardinals on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This time they face a 3rd and 2. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half, as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Winston now. It's caught by Treadwell. And he will have the first down, but he winds up paying for it pretty good. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a first down. And the pressure gets there, and Winston goes down. Myles Garrett in there yet again. What else is new as he continues to rewrite the record book in single-season sacks. And keep your eye on that man. 4 sacks last week, 1 there here in the second quarter. He can be so disruptive.
So what was he doing in the first quarter? What was going on?
Took a nap.
I think he tried to lull him to sleep a little bit. Like, yeah, okay, maybe you got me this week. No longer. And you know, with the 4 sacks last week, it's obvious he gets his in flurries.
Now Winston, and fights him off. But now he's swallowed up and taken down. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here comes the Cardinals punter now as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. And great special teams work here. This is knocking on the door of the 5. They'll spot it at the 6-yard line. Now this offense about ready to take over again. Now they had to go the length of the field last time out to get into the end zone. And with this starting field position, they're going to have to pretty much do it again.
And I think the thought process going into it is, hey, if you have to be methodical, go ahead and do that. But what you really want are a couple of big plays. Eat up chunks of yardage and cut down.
And he does take it in for the touchdown, but a flag on the field, and I don't think this is going to stand.
Yeah, don't put the points on the board just yet.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
Brutal, so take away the long touchdown.
It's a cruel game sometimes, partner.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And they'll get him down up past the 15-yard line. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains. Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And he'll take this up only to about his 18-yard line. And before this second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout, as the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the first half. Play action. Watts. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Now here's a timeout defensively coming from the Cardinals, as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds to go in the first half. So a challenge coming down from the booth, and that's where these challenges come.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
Partner, they're less than 2 minutes to go in the game, which means that this challenge was initiated by the fellas in New York.
And if you're the coach, you're thinking, thank you, New York. After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
No run call here. They'll look to throw instead, eluding the pressure right. Now the Cards going to call another timeout, their second. as they'll stop it with 25 seconds to go here in half number 1. On 4th down, here's Justin Vogel on to punt it away. Fielded at the 33. So a change of possession here on the punt. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. 19 seconds showing to play in the half as they come up here 1st and 10. Jameis now on 1st down. Throwing the slant pattern here complete. Now before this 2nd down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout, as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the 1st half. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. From the gun, Winston. And he's got his man on the crossing route. That's Landry. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a 1st down. Here's Winston. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Garrett. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. And now, due to apparent time constraints, we fast forward to the beginning of the 2nd half. Jakeem Grant now to return. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Now this offense ready to head back out there. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the 1st half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
1 yard officially on the pickup, and it'll leave them with a 3rd and 11.
They know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. To throw on 3rd down. Watts flushed out right. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. It's a 4-yard pickup, and that'll bring up 4th down. He was out there waving his arms, and when you got a quarterback out of the pocket looking for any help, I guess waving the arms is helpful.
It certainly is, because you got to get his attention, because now you're in scramble drill. So everyone's adjusting their routes, finding open space, and he found the right spot for the completion.
The Cardinals offense now ready to get their first opportunity here in the 2nd half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance to turn that into points on the offensive end.
Can you imagine what the grease board looks like at the half? Because
tell me.
That's exactly what they printed up.
Hit from behind, and he's going to be driven down. Myles Garrett in there to get him for his 2nd sack of the night. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. Well, this secondary has done such a good job of frustrating these receivers tonight. Another example right there on the deep ball.
Sometimes when the sun goes...
Oh, and this is going to wind up a safety. And, Charles, at some point, you can't keep worrying about big play. Can this be perfect? You just have to get the ball out of the end zone.
And in the offensive huddle, that was discussed when they called the play. Just get out of the end zone. But you know what's interesting? A lot of the times in the defensive huddle, they actually call a set and then say at the end of it, get a safety. So it's preached, it's coached, it's thought about.
A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. And there are the numbers. Got off to that torrid hot start. We thought he was in for maybe a career day. Not the case.
No doubt about it. It almost looks like a misprint after what we saw in the first half. But let's give a little bit of credit to the guys on the other side of the ball. They went in at halftime, made a few adjustments, and you know what else? They didn't lose their confidence in their ability to play. Because a lot of times you get beat down in the first half, it gets ugly in the second half. They've come out with a new resolve and a renewed determination.
So the big play has them all the way down to the 30 now for 1st and 10. Right back to him on 1st down. About 3 yards there to the 27.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Detroit! Detroit!
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Watts. Escape. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this is recovered by the Cardinals.
All these years we've been watching the game, I start to get the sense that whenever it rains out, those guys who have to touch the ball and carry it, they're extremely resentful about that weather.
Yeah, I'm just happy I'm not resentful that we have a roof over our heads. I know that much.
Yeah, maybe we won't fumble our play sheets here as we just saw the fumble happen on the field.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he stopped immediately there. And the tackle there by Quan Alexander.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
Ready? Black 22.
And the blitz does come. Open man is Thielen is complete. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
He used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this. When he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
So he got free of one tackle, but couldn't do a whole lot else. He'll get just a yard on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
Nice job there defensively. A great time to dial up a blitz.
And give him credit under center instead of throwing it away. Actually, a pretty good job of getting past the line of scrimmage, not losing yardage. Play action now. Winston. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
3rd and long for Winston. And the pressure gets to him again. Myles Garrett in there to get him again. The 3rd time he sacked him here tonight. He's looking for another 4-sack game. That's how many he had last week. That's his 3rd.
And when I watch him rush the passer, the thing that always comes to mind for me is how well he uses his hands. The martial arts stuff that a lot of guys do in the offseason to work on those, paying dividends for him. He's getting home in a big way. I know there's no magnet in the ball, but sometimes for the punt returner, after such a scramble, it sort of feels that way, doesn't it? He has it, he loses it, somehow the ball finds its way back to him.
Atone for his sin, and you know he's taking a deep sigh of relief right now. That goes for a gain of 31.
On any given pass play, you never know exactly where your exit points are going to be. On this play, he was flushed to his left, still on the run, able to accurately throw the football for a nice 1st down.
Throwing on 1st down. Watts flush to his right. And that is incomplete. James Bradbury, he was right there to break it up.
But sometimes you just have to take things into your own hands, don't you? I mean, the offense is really struggling in this game. They're the ones keeping things going. They have to continue to play at that level.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Black 99 Philly, here we go.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. It's a gain of about 3, but it's going to leave him with 3rd and still 7 yards to go.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
He's got his man. It's Andrews. And they'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds. And 15 yards there on the catch and run.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size, can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football, and the Cardinals have got it going the other way. And his crew will take over at their own 45-yard line. And maybe that one caused by the weather. Of course, the rain coming down. Charles, can you maybe, when you're carrying that football, grip it too tight in the rain?
I think that you can, and it's such a delicate balance, too, because when you grip it so tight, sometimes it'll slip out from your body. You squeeze it too hard, and it'll pop out on its own. I've actually had running backs talk to me about that when they've tried too hard, even in perfect conditions, the ball gets away from them. They've got to find that good balance, carrying it firmly, yet at the same time under control.
Second down, Winston. Caught on the right side by Treadwell. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew.
And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
It's Cardinal football, but they trail. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. Now, defensively here, we're going to get a timeout. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. Working out of the gun, Winston. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. 20, 10, and he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them into the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Back to it after the pick six. Winston. And the pressure gets there, and Winston goes down.
I know there'll be a little bit of criticism there because they went right back to the air after the huge pickup and end up getting sacked. That's often a play that you make. You feel like you've got momentum on your side.
Unfortunately, the O-line failed to hold up to try to keep that momentum going. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. It's a gain of 7, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation.
But it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have the center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Desperation time. Winston on 4th down. And they'll set up shop in enemy territory at the 45-yard line.
Partner, we always talk about possessions being at a premium in these games. And now in this situation, throwing an interception here when you have to claw your way back in, that one's going to hurt and in a big way.
On 1st and 10, Watts dancing to his left. He'll get just a yard on the scramble. It's 2nd down. Charles, you'd said the magic number was probably right around 20 for this defense because they're facing one of the top 5 offenses in the league in terms of points scored. They've had their moments, but this offense just a little too good, isn't it?
They really are, because no matter what you do to make an adjustment on defense, they've had an answer for it.
To throw on 2nd down, Watts eluding the pressure right. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. He turned that into a nice gain, gets him 8 yards closer for 3rd down.
I like his thought process and his ability to move and get downfield. But what I didn't like was the final decision, to go out of bounds. They want to keep the clock moving. Instead, they give the defense an extra timeout.
They'll look to throw for it on 3rd and 1. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he's got the first as they'll bring him down at the 28-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks. This quarterback now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. And they'll go with the ground attack here. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. Big Leonard Williams there on the stop. Off the play fake. Watts. They'll roll him out right. And this is incomplete.
I know we're doing this game live, but let's step into the film room for just a second, because when they review this play, oh, the negatives are going to be incredible on this one. Rolling out to his right. Yeah, he's right-handed, so that's a natural spot for him. But he throws back across his body back into traffic.
Big no-no.
Oh, that's a monster no-no. The only good thing that happened, it fell incomplete. Very fortunate.
And finally, down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he's going to press this one forward as they stop him right around the 1. A good run of 6 yards there. Gets him closer to the goal line with 2nd down coming up.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run. Got behind his pads. Bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
So through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. 2nd and goal from the 1. It's a quarterback sneak, and he is into the end zone for a touchdown. It's their quarterback scoring on the sneak from a yard out, and his guys are going to add on to their lead.
And the sneak works on 2nd and goal. They didn't wait until it was 4th down to try and get him across.
No, and I think if you're the QB, you like these plays, don't you? I mean, you want to hand it off sometimes, but also prove that you can get it in there as well.
Yeah, it makes you really part of the gang, doesn't it? It makes you part of the crew, and it really bonds you with those big offensive linemen, because then you get to celebrate with the big fellas.
And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. A look at Jameis Winston now as he gears up to lead this offense again. And that interception that ended their previous drive likely also ended any shot they had at victory.
Yeah, long road back from here, no doubt about that one. But let's face it, if you're going to go out there and compete, you want to try and end on a strong note, don't you?
Absolutely. It won't end in a victory like you said, but they can maybe take something positive out of this one. Give them a couple on the scramble. It's 2nd down. They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Now a 2nd down throw for Winston. Throw left side on target to Thielen. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game, because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
And they are going to stop him on 4th and 1 as they'll wind up going backwards. The Cardinals unable to convert there on 4th down. And the ball will go over on downs on the short side of the field. Well, at this stage of the game in the second half, down 3 scores, I guess they felt like they needed to push.
And let's face it, with this deficit, if they give up another score here after they didn't get it, does it really matter?
Right.
It really doesn't. They had to go and try and make some.
And he gets into the end zone for the touchdown. In for the score. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead. So another score there. Often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Cardinal offense now making their way back out onto the field. And last time out, went for it on 4th down, turned it over, gave them great field position, turned it to 6 points, so they've got to recover here, Charles.
It's amazing what one decision can do in the chain of events, right? The decision to go for it on 4th down.
Caused all of that.
It caused every bit of it, but it showed confidence. Hey, I've got confidence in you guys. Go pick it up for them. Didn't happen. Also showed confidence in the defense. They didn't pick up their end of the bargain, so now they've got to come back out and start over and rebuild that confidence.
Ball start, offense.
And maybe they were coming with a blitz that time, and it caused a jump.
I think if we saw it, you know that they saw it. Might have been a little discussion down there. Bad guys coming. Pick them up. Pick them up. And someone jumped.
Now Jameis on 2nd down. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Chavez. And down he'll go at the 25. Just a 1-yard pickup on the play. And that's going to make it 3rd down and 10.
Ready. Blue ready. Let's go.
From the shotgun, it's Winston. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And this is caught. A spectacular one-handed grab there. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the ball will go over on downs on the short side of the field. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
And he's going to take this one down to the 25. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. That one looks like he'll throw here. His throw caught at about the 5. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
So whatever happened to rookie quarterbacks taking time to adjust to life in the NFL? Because this guy looks like he's been doing it for about, 7 years? 4 touchdown passes? That's not something rookies are supposed to be doing with the ease in which he's doing it.
Lutz with the extra point, and that will extend this big lead. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that, and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team, and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. And before this play happens, we're going to get a timeout here, as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down.
Ready. Black 22.
Now Winston. And Jameis intercepted a third time. Isaiah Oliver with the INT. And he's able to get it back to the 33-yard line. Well, that's 3 picks he's now thrown in this game.
And I know this, the holiday season, because here we are in December. Right, it is the season of giving. Maybe for his own sake after the game, he may have to announce that he's donating certain amounts to charity for each interception that he threw.
Steps away to his left. Throw left side, complete to Ross. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. A good pickup there at 22.
Sometimes it's designed, and sometimes you just have to know when to leave the pocket and move and make something happen. And that play is able to get on the run and was still accurate throwing the football.
Looking to throw. Watts into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Andre Howell. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Now they get a fourth quarter pick. A little something to hang their hat on, I guess.
Okay, so let's face it, though. Who's happy about this play? Fantasy guys, right?
Yeah.
The analytics will tell you what.
And can you believe it? It's a second safety in this ball game. Things are just going from bad to worse now. It's a safety that does him in here, and that is one frustrated offensive unit.
They can't get out from under their own shadow right now. I mean, I know this is the NFL, but could you imagine a college crowd right now? Imagine what they'd be doing. They'd be chanting, "Start the bus," because they think this one is over.
So out now comes the offense back onto the field. They have the dream scenario you hope for coming into the game. Just one kneel here, and this game should be over.
And it's always the final play of preparation each week. The practicing of the kneel-down formation, the victory formation. We've got a game in hand, and that's all they're going to want to do now. They'll put someone back deep just in case something goes haywire. But all in all, take the snap, kneel down, and shake hands. Yes, get out of there.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Wide open receiver complete. And he takes it all the way down to the 32. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead. It'll be their third and final timeout, so as they talk things over, we'll step aside. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. On first down, Watts forced out to his left. And he's caught right at the 10-yard line. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. A good pickup there of 22.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Throwing on first down. Watts being chased out left. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Well, Charles, the forecast called for rain throughout the entire game, and we got rain throughout the entire game. But these two teams, they had fun getting dirty out there. They love the slop.
Did you trust the forecast ahead of time? Are you one of those guys that's skeptical about it, or did you trust it?
But when I saw just a big blob of green on the radar, I said, okay, let's trust.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad you took my advice. Got your notes laminated.